Oh, check one, check two, check one. Am I on? I'm on. Okay. Still recovering. Okay. Now, folks, quick updates here for you. Tonight at 7 o'clock tonight, there is going to be a meet and greet hosted at 7 o'clock tonight at the Marriott Hotel, hosted by the Flyover Conservatives and the Steel Truth Show and Melk-K. Do we all know about that? 7 o'clock tonight. We're all good? Now, I'm going to give you guys, if you're taking notes, I want to give you 3 action items that you can take, that you can do. There's things that you can do right now. One is, the Flyover Conservatives, they started their show, I believe, in January. And now they have 70,000 some odd subscribers, people from all over the world listening to that show. So one thing you could do, if you're like, what can I do? One thing you could do is you could become a citizen journalist. And so many of these people, they're just somebody who seeks the truth and a microphone. And like the Flyover Conservatives, they called me and said, what can we do to make this event great? And I said, well, you could organize a meet and greet event, and they did that. So one thing you could do is you could become a citizen journalist, start your own show. That's something, if somebody in here, you might be thinking, that you might have been already having that thought. That's something you could do. Second thing you can do is we have workshops. If you go to timetofreeamerica.com, who knows Kevin Sorbo? He played Hercules. All right, so Kevin Sorbo and Sam Sorbo and I, we have these workshops where we teach you how to homeschool your kids. So my kids, we homeschooled our kids until a certain age where we thought it might make sense to put them in a private school. And when they tested the kids, they were way ahead of everybody else because it turned out we actually spent time teaching them. So if you want to learn how to homeschool, if that's something you want to know, go to timetofreeamerica.com. Those workshops are at my office in Tulsa, and there's only about 150 people per group. There's once a month. There's one of those every month, and that's a great way to learn. It's very interactive. That's something you can do. And the third thing you can do is you could recognize that you might just be the one. So there was one Martin Luther King Jr. that I'm aware of. Maybe there was one. There was one Ronald Reagan. There was one person who had that one thought that somehow that God created me, God created you for a purpose, and that you're going to commit all your time, your talents, your treasures, your tools to serve that purpose. And there's somebody here today, when we had the first event in Tulsa, the Iowa Mama Bears, I made eye contact with them just like I'm making with you, and they latched on. And next thing you know, they said, what can we do? How can we get involved? And these women have not let go, and they have absolutely fought back, got those masks lifted off those kids in Iowa, teamed up with their governor. But it took somebody just with the resolve to deciding that you are the one. So I want to encourage every single person here. I took algebra 3 times. Most of you probably could guess. I did not graduate from college. I'm not that smart, but I kind of know the one thing that God's given me the talents and tools to do. And everybody in here, you have certain talents and tools. There's not a single person in this room that can't make a difference. And if all of you ask God today, what is the one thing you can do? I promise we can do a lot of great things to save this nation and to get Colorado back to being the free state that it needs to be. All right, so we can do that. You are the one. I believe that. I do. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our next presenter, Mike Lindell called me about 3 days ago, and Mike said, hey, Clay, you got to add this guy to the lineup. And I go, yes, because that's what you do when Mike Lindell calls you and says, add him to the lineup. You say, yes, just so you know, that's kind of the inner workings they don't want you to know. Okay, so this guy, our next speaker, he served in the U.S. Air Force for over 25 years, and during his service, he was responsible for testing oversight for some of the nation's most complex computer-based national security systems based out of Colorado. Shawn is a leader in the U.S. Election Integrity Plan, a national, nonpartisan, citizen-led volunteer organization solely focused on election integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand to your feet and greet Colonel Shawn Smith.
Hello, everybody. I'm Shawn Smith. I'm not really a talker. I'm a little bit more of a doer, so I hope you'll bear with me. So my team knows why this is funny, but my greatest fear coming up on stage is that I will swear in front of everybody. And we work in election integrity, so it gets harder and harder. Plus, I was, my whole adult life in the military, and you get mentored by senior officers to swear properly. Not to not swear, but to do it the right way. So So I'm a retired Air Force officer. I'm the son of a veteran. I'm the grandson of a veteran, multiple veterans. I'm descended from the hard people that founded our nation. My people scouted for John Smith, founded Salem, fought in many Civil War battles, all in blue. And we're here, right here, with the cavalry when this was Kansas territory. They gave more than their fair share of blood to the Tree of Liberty. So I have natural rights by birth, like all of you, but I inherited liberty. In my life, I've controlled parts of the U.S. nuclear deterrent arsenal. I have helped wage war on our enemies, helped protect the innocent. I've led teams of uniformed patriots here and abroad. I have commanded critical national security installations and systems and told hard, unpopular truths to the most senior levels of our national defense. And I've buried my friends under our flag. I owe them a debt I cannot pay, and this is my down payment. That's how I feel about them. So, though I'm a prolific reader and a trained researcher, before the 3rd of November, I had never read a single document about elections or election systems, not one. I was well informed about the world and about the threat of our foreign enemies, and I was ignorant about our domestic enemies. I thought and acted as a child about the domestic threat, and I neglected my responsibility to exercise vigilant, informed oversight over our government. After my military retirement, I was one of the people who just wanted to be left alone, and I was wrong. I was wrong. Our founders envisioned an informed, engaged, vigilant citizenry, and without it, our beacon will be extinguished. I read the news on the 3rd of November, and a really implausible story about voter turnout raised my eyebrows. And I started doing what I've been trained to do and done my whole adult life, what I was trained in the military to do. I started researching. And I applied my professional background and my expertise, and the rabbit hole was deep. It was deep. It didn't take me long to find implausible growth in new registered voters, and that the voter ID standards were a sick joke, and that mail-in ballot chain of custody was a complete lie, that our machines weren't properly tested, that they lacked supply chain security, meaning that we have no idea whether and to what extent they were compromised, and we never will. There is no way to secure them. If you want to secure them, get a flamethrower. It's true. It's true. They were built overseas in foreign facilities by foreign workers under foreign supervision with foreign parts. They'll never be clean. They were ordered by the voting system vendors with wireless modems and configured to be remotely accessed. And on. They were tested by, certified by, and in the custody of people who understood none of that. And I'm being charitable because some of them understood, and that's more sinister. We all knew something was wrong. We all know something is wrong. And we're just starting to get a sense of the breadth and depth of what was wrong. And unlike the election industry and the insiders club of election experts who think that they're entitled to piss on us and tell us it's raining, we weren't all connected. We citizens, the people who wanted to be left alone, we weren't connected. We didn't know how many we were. We didn't know how strong we were. But citizens and experts from computer security, engineers and scientists to data analysts, cybersecurity professionals, mathematicians, physicists, media experts, people experts, we converged on a conclusion, and it's not a conspiracy theory. We're not extremists, we're patriots. We're the engine of this nation, descended from the people who built it. And we have the right and the responsibility to bring our government back to a righteous path and to make sure it stays there. It's right there in the nation's birth certificate, the Declaration of Independence. That's us, to suffer while it's tolerable, and then no longer. It's on us. It's on us. We are the plan. A lot of people want justice and accountability, right? Show of hands. Me too. We must have it. We must. But it's a little bit like wanting light in the darkness. Wanting lights nothing. You have to light candles. And to do that, first you need the candle makers. And they have to be supplied, right? They need wax and wicks. They need sparks and flint. It's hard, sometimes thankless work, to be making the candles and to light the candles by yourself. But a good candle maker accepts that they may never see the light from most of their labor, right? We may never sit in the shade of the trees we have to plant, but we inherited liberty. We have to pass on liberty. It's especially hard work when there are people trying to prevent all of it, and they are, using government resources that we've paid for, using the deep pockets of people who hate America and all she stands for, and they do. That's why lighting a candle is best done as a team sport. So my team is the U.S. Election Integrity Plan. It was founded here in Colorado. One of the founders right backstage. We saw one another's lights in the darkness, and we assembled as free people will. We draw others to us daily, and we share all forms of information and resources to other groups. We've got 20 states now working with us. I hear from them every day. We're fighting a network. We have to fight as a network. You have to fight as a team. Freedom is a team sport. So we're shameless. We're shameless about copying anything that works in other states. Anything. That's why we went to see the Maricopa audit. And yeah. Yes, sir. What a magnificent, magnificent, amazing job those people did. That servant leaders and the volunteers. Yeah. That's the best election audit that has ever been done. Yet. They went looking for the truth, not a specific outcome, and they found it, and now they have laid it bare. They showed us, and not everyone realized this, what a hand count of ballots looks like with perfect auditable transparency. Now everybody knows we don't need the machines, and we never did. We share everything that we find with everybody. We work with everybody who wants election integrity. You can see it for yourself. We've got a site. It's useip.org, and we link to everybody who we can. We provide information, and we're sharing things like the MESA report. and also some great articles that lay bare the lies from our media. We're not trying to build an empire. We work with everybody who wants election integrity. And together, we're going to win. Here in Colorado, we're teamed up with citizens and grassroots volunteers all over the state to try to find the truth about our elections and election systems. We've gone fact-finding through the Colorado Open Records Act and Freedom of Information Act, and that's been illuminating. My own state government election officials up in the Secretary of State's office, on government computers in government offices, while I pay their salaries, have sent my information to their friends at Dominion Voting Systems. They have, calling me a proponent of the big lie. I'm quoting. Sending my information to them with a salutation, I'm going to quote again. Please give my best regards to Mike Frontera. Now, Joe Olben knows who Mike Frontera is. Mike Frontera is the general counsel of Dominion Voting Systems. I'm quoting Dwight Shellman, the county support manager in our Secretary of State's office, and his email to his staff and to Dominion. So I guess a round of applause for the self-congratulatory government officials. So we've engaged with legislators, state, county officials, and all manner of regretful and disgraceful bureaucrats. We've proven that our statewide voter registration system that's supposed to be secure was accessed from overseas. We don't know who, and they don't either. They weren't even looking. We filed petitions. We stood up in hearing after hearing by the hundreds, exercising the First Amendment rights that are protected by the Second. We've done the research to document violations of state and federal law, and we've turned that over to prosecutors, so fingers crossed. We'll see who has integrity and who doesn't. We've developed and implemented canvassing procedures spanning a larger geographic area than Maricopa County. And while I stand here being credited as a leader, my real credentials are the people that I serve with. The people whose trust I hold and whom I trust, who are out right now getting the job done with canvassing. Right as we speak, they are canvassing. They've collected hundreds of affidavits. I received one not an hour ago, another one, that show that our Secretary of State's master voting system record from the November election is wrong. Citizens have done what none of our election officials have done, what every one of them had a sworn duty to do, and most of them couldn't be bothered, and some of them just didn't know how, so we'll show them. It was Colorado citizens out on the western slope, some of them here today among us, who brought these concerns and evidence to Mesa County's clerk and recorder, Tina Peters. And unlike, that's right. Unlike so many other public officials, in her they found a public servant. She listened to them, she kept faith with them, and we could not be more proud of her. Can you close? Okay. So that went long. So let me just wrap up by saying that nobody's coming to help us. It's us. There are things you can do to help, and if you're not in the fight yet, if you're not on the field of fight, as General Flynn would call it, then I have to ask you, if not you, who? And if not now, when? This is a season for winter soldiers. Here am I. Thank you.
Come on, let's give it up for retired Colonel Shawn Smith. Come on.